There's the id, the ego, and the super ego. The ego of a trumpet player can be seen for miles and miles, and in the case for some poor clarinet players, deep in their damaged eardrums. You get the players that claim to be incredible. In fact, they don't need to say it out loud. Oh, oftentimes they really don't. No, you can tell by every interaction that they have.
Dude, that was so good. Listen, director, I think we need to retune. Everyone's out of tune. Funny. I have a tuner on my stand. I did it. I remember the key change. No one else did.
Where does this ego come from, and why does it outweigh the talent for so many? How much of ego is healthy and motivating? And when does it turn to being this guy? And can we please give the clarinet players some workers' comp for their ears? Quick disclaimer, this doesn't apply to everybody, obviously. This is just something I've experienced in my time, in my own personal experience through going through college and being in various groups and all that jazz. So please don't kill me if it doesn't apply to you. And this video is going to be diving into the psyche of a lot of people watching. Some of you might go, this doesn't make any sense. While some of you might be tearing up and like, how do you know me so well? So there might be a bit of a roller coaster of self-discovery. Buckle up, dingoes. Let's go. My cat right over there, right? That's my cat. The role of a trumpet player, for better or for worse. To figure out the psyche of a cocky, egotistical trumpet player, we're gonna have to take a few steps back. Think back to the first time you might have heard like a classical ensemble or even like a jazz band. What's something that sticks out to you? For many, it's the trumpet. And why is it always the trumpet? When there's like a big ensemble 2D section together, a lot of times you hear the trumpet because of two things. First, it's so bright and it's so resonant. The sound of the trumpet can like cut through like a knife into any ensemble because that's the way they're built. They hit a different kind of like sound barrier that you're not used to, you know. That's why it's always the thing that cuts through. That's why the trumpet always has the melody. That's why they always get the glory. It's always heard. Second, it's directional. The trumpet, the bell goes bloop. It's so freaking loud, mainly because the trumpet is aiming at you. That's just the way the trumpet is built. The first sound that's going to hit your ear holes is going to be the trumpet, followed by a wave of every other sound. Because of that, it's always noticed.
And yes, I know flutes can do the same, they also heard. Oh, and I get it, the violins are the same, they can also be heard.
But really though, let's be honest, flutes, trumpets, violins, they're all kind of the same, aren't they? Trumpets are very loud and dumb. Flute players can be very catty and petty with the things that they say. And violins are passive-aggressive. That could be a very controversial statement I just made. Ladies and gents, meet the little diva. Every great moment that it has is put on a pedestal. It's exemplified, it's grandiose, it's noticed. And on the downside, so is every single flaw. It's underneath like a microscope, every single thing that the trumpet does. If you're like one of many different clarinets, give or take, you can kind of hide in some passages if you need to. Should you do it? But if you're a trumpet player, 1 out of 8, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb if you're at all out of tune. Because of the way that it's bright and resonant, you're gonna hear that little difference. It's gonna sound like a freaking airplane taking off all the time if you're out of tune. Because of that, you kinda always need to follow the trumpets. If you have any moment of hesitation, this little stinker is going to not forgive you. You're gonna crack each note, and you're gonna play out of tune, and it's not gonna give you any chance of recovery. Bad draw, man. Not a good roll of the dice. Essentially, you're screwed if you goof. And so how do you woo over that little diva? How do you prevent that from happening? Practice? Well, that's a start. You need to make sure you know how to play your fundamentals, of course, and you can always fall back on those. But for many people, you might discover a different path, a not so healthy path.
What if I just really yell loudly in my head that I can play this, and I play everything with complete confidence?
The trumpet senses it. And suddenly you're playing better. You're playing louder, and at least you're being heard. At least in your head, you think you're doing better, and shockingly, it translates really well. The little diva likes a little bit of confidence. And you start to play the trumpet kind of gooder. Uh-oh. The response.
Hey, trumpets, that sounded really good. Keep it up, let's hear it again.
Yeah, man, you're crushing it. The beast it creates. This moment right here is the moment that the trumpet hits a crossroads. well, it's not really like a crossroads. It's more like a 5-lane like super highway, and the crossroads itself is the main highway or this really quick turn off onto a dirt path that you're probably going to miss and or crash and fumble and make it awkward and just trying to get onto the other path. The big path, the main highway, the easiest way, is leading to the path of ego, while the other path is actually the path of humility. Praise, it's really addicting, especially when it comes to any art. If you do something that's praised musically, that essentially means that somebody's telling you, I like the way you express yourself. And I really enjoy it, and I like it so much that I feel it too. And that feeling is contagious. It feels so good to get a good compliment, especially from a band director who you worship above God himself. That seems kind of weird. Note to self. Video about band directors and why they're super worshipped. That contagious feeling, going into the wrong heads, well, it can turn a young, eager musician ready to learn into that ego, pimple-faced, smelly like pizza, never puts on deodorant dingo that's in the back that I know is probably in your ensemble. He's probably sitting in your ensemble right now. Or sitting on the back of the band bus. Making a, I don't know, dumb poo-poo joke. Or a your mom joke. Maybe trying to smoke a vape in the back of them. When you develop confidence, ego tends to come hand in hand. The confident trumpet player is the one that tends to play the notes the loudest, the ones that you're always going to hear. Thus, they're always going to be the center of all attention. But you know what they say, the higher you fly, the harder you fall. Icarus burning close to the sun. It's easy to have that ego when you're on a pedestal and you're easily examined. Though, when you're hated, you're very hated. So how do you avoid this? How do you gain humility when you're in the face of egotism? How do you not become a dick? It begins with being humble, taking that path of humility. Take the compliments in stride, enjoy them. Really, say thank you. It's a good thing to get praise, and it's nice. But then don't internalize that as, I'm perfect already. Instead, take a moment, take a breath, and know that you have a lot more that you can learn. Always work on your fundamentals. Always be patient with yourself. Learning trumpet and getting really, really good at it is a slow, long, but rewarding process. Because there's another side to trumpet playing, and it's what I would call the Zen side. You need to remember why you're playing the trumpet. For me, it's kind of my happy place. It's an escape. Practice is almost like meditation for me. It centers me. It keeps me fulfilled. I know that after I practice, the rest of the day is going to go well because I got one of the biggest things in my life done for the day. If I do my routine, if I work on my fundamentals, then I feel at ease, that I can conquer everything else in the day very well. Be nice to each other. Take compliments as a bonus because they aren't dependent on your skill. Someone telling you you're good is not a measurable amount of skill that you can have. Instead, that comes from you. It comes from deep inside of you. Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel like you've gotten this thing done? Do you feel like that you had a very good performance? And that's the path that you need to go down. Go easy on yourself. Understand that this is all part of the process and that you're just going to be getting better and better in slow increments. And laugh off the bad moments. If something doesn't go well, no big deal. It's no big deal. You're going to get it. Just keep at it. Keep rocking it. Be consistent. Be good. And you're going to get there. And with the little diva, with a calmer mentality, well, you're going to calm that little diva. It's going to understand it. It's going to go also into that Zen happy place. Suddenly you're not putting any of this pressure on your lips. And, well, your trumpet playing is just going to sound really, really good. The tone's going to get better. The confidence that you're going to nail parts is going to be there. And you're going to smile. You're going to have fun along the way. And no longer are you going to be kind of seen as the egotistical trumpet player. Now, with all this hippy-dippy meditation bullcrap, what's the point of it? Why does it matter? It actually reflects on your skill as a trumpet player. You see, the little diva, it doesn't like tension, right? It doesn't like tension at all. And tension is created when you're egotistical and you're trying to freaking strongman that trumpet. It shows in the way you perform. There's no life to it. Instead, it's just like, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to see and explain, but you can hear the difference with somebody playing with a lot of love and care compared to somebody who's like, I just need to get this. And when you're relaxed, you're not tensing up when it comes to a passage coming up. Your shoulders aren't, you're not tightening up, which a lot of those egotistical trumpet players do often. They might have one moment of bliss, but it's followed up by a lot of just cringy, gross-sounding notes. You're gonna start sounding really friggin' good. It's a tough path to get on. You're gonna do a couple barrel rolls. You're gonna probably shoot off an airbag trying to get onto that little dirt road off the highway. But man, it's great to reach on that path to get to Trumpet Nirvana. If you stay on the highway, you're one of so many people, and eventually you're gonna hit this trumpet place that's gonna be like the main city, and it's a traffic jam. So many people are just like you. They're stuck in this perpetual spot. They're not improving. There's a lot of like, get out of my way, I'm better, blah, 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 blah. While if you go on the little dirt path instead, you're gonna reach a spot that's above the rest of it. And you're gonna see on the top of this hill the gorgeous landscape of Trumpet Nirvana. The metaphors of this video are going wild. This one's a pretty trippy video. So what are the causes of a trumpet player having ego? Well, an inflated sense of importance, mainly from always being heard and watched, to a sense of inflated confidence. Because of that, I could play anything. And a deep-rooted addiction to trying to receive that praise. This, meanwhile, though, it's not a death sentence. At any point in your life, you can get off the highway, you can get on that dirt road and start making that path. It doesn't really matter when, it's just a matter of, you know, trying to make that step towards getting that Zen moment, reaching Trumpet Nirvana. And for some people, that's not them. They really like being on the highway. They prefer that path and they prefer to be, you know, with the group, and they enjoy it. And that's fine too. Everyone needs to be on the path that they choose, but for me, to reach that sweet, sweet spot, I had to go down that Zen, Trumpet Nirvana path. Yeah, you do you. Trumpet, 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 trumpet. Alright everyone, thanks for watching my video. I know that this one was kind of crazy. If you like, please like. Comment if you have any thoughts on egotistical trumpet players. Just make sure you keep it civil. And well, thank you everybody. Bye 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 bye.